Okay, so like everyone always says you need that degree, right?
Yep.
That you need to climb that ladder to be successful.
Yeah.
But what about those who like totally ditched the whole college thing?
Yeah.
We're going to dive into, well, it's actually a top 10 famous university dropouts list from the Top 10's website.
Okay.
And you know what? Some of these names, I bet you already know them.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, these are some pretty big hitters, people who really change things up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Kind of makes you wonder, like, what really gets you to the top?
It really does.
So, all right, let's start with, well, the obvious, right? The tech world.
Okay.
Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Steve Jobs, all college dropouts.
Yep.
Kind of crazy to think they, like, completely reshaped how we live, you know?
It is, and it's wild how they saw what everyone else missed. Like, take Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
I mean, he got that whole social media thing way before Facebook was even a thing, and then he just, boom, leaves Harvard to build it.
Man, what a gamble, right? Leaving Harvard to chase, like, what some people probably thought was a, I don't know, like a silly idea.
Yeah.
But, I mean, obviously it worked. For him, for Gates, Wozniak, too, who dropped out for his own thing.
It's not just about taking that risk, though, is it? It's, I think, got to be that vision, that drive, like, really going for it. These guys weren't messing around. They worked like crazy.
Okay, but did they all bail for the same reasons? I mean, passion projects, sure, but I'm guessing there's, like, other stories, too.
Definitely. Oh, here's a good one. Brad Pitt left University of Missouri like 2 weeks before graduation.
What?
Yeah, to be an actor.
Wow.
Not exactly a, a casual decision.
Used before graduation, that's, I mean, he must have known, right? Deep down, the usual path wasn't for him.
Yeah, I think so. And then you've got F. Scott Fitzgerald, left Princeton because he wasn't doing so hot grades-wise.
Yeah.
This just shows you, like, those classic success things, grades and all, don't tell the whole story.
Yeah, almost like you found a different kind of classroom.
Right.
Right, where his creativity could, like, actually breathe. Makes you wonder, what if he'd stayed put, you know?
For sure. And that's what I love about these stories. They make you think, oh, speaking of not fitting in, what about Ted Turner?
Oh, yeah, Ted.
Booted from Brown, having a girl in his dorm room.
Talk about rule breaking. But hey, he built a whole media empire, so maybe bending the rules isn't always bad, huh?
Maybe that same kind of rebellious streak is what fueled him later on.
Okay, so hold on. We've got tech giants, a Hollywood heartthrob, a literary legend, and a media, I don't know, a media titan. All college dropouts.
Yeah.
Are we seeing a pattern here?
Maybe. I mean, they all seem super driven, willing to take those risks, and they definitely weren't afraid to, like, blaze their own trail. Didn't care what everyone else was doing.
And it's not all tech and entertainment, right? This list goes way beyond that. I
Yeah.
mean, Oprah Winfrey, Ellen DeGeneres, Lady Gaga, huge successes.
Really makes you rethink that whole you need a degree thing, doesn't it? Especially in those creative fields, like where it's about talent and that special something you can't teach.
And speaking of special, how about Giorgio Armani? Dropped out of med school, couldn't stand the sight of blood.
Oh, wow.
Lucky for us, right? Imagine a world without his designs.
Yeah, right. Totally found his thing after, well, a pretty big change of plans.
Okay, get this. Howard Hughes, billionaire, aviation guy, a little eccentric.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Dropped out of not one, but 2 universities.
Wow.
Hughes is like a whole study in himself, no formal education, but he did incredible things, a real innovator. And then there's Frank Lloyd Wright, America's most famous architect, arguably. Spent, get this, 1 year at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, then just took off on his own.
These examples, they really get you thinking, don't they? Like, what was it about them? What let them just thrive? Even without that traditional path, was it like pure talent or just that drive or maybe a little bit of luck?
Right, exactly. Makes you wonder if there's like a common thread, something that ties them all together.
Yeah.
But before we go too deep into that, there are a few names here you might not expect.
No. Like who?
Well, how about someone who ended up back in the classroom, but on the big screen?
I think I know who you're talking about. Tell me.
All right, next up, a comedian who maybe found metaphysics a little too much to handle.
Okay.
All right, so Woody Allen, legendary filmmaker.
Right.
Got expelled from NYU for, get this, cheating on a metaphysics exam.
Really? Wow. You'd think, I mean, a mind like his, metaphysics, right up his alley. Guess formal education just wasn't for him.
Yeah, and he actually later dropped out of City College of New York, too. Seems like he just, couldn't quite find his groove in that whole academic world.
But then he goes and makes some of the most, like, iconic films ever. His comedic, what do you call it? His comedic voice, totally unique storytelling, all blossomed outside the classroom.
It's crazy, right? Some people just have that
Yeah.
thing, that spark you can't teach. Makes you wonder, does school sometimes, I don't know, squash creativity instead of helping it grow?
It's an interesting thought. Maybe for some people, all that structure, all those rules, it's just stifling. Like they need space to experiment, to really play with ideas.
Right, like they got to break free from the mold. Oh,
Right.
speaking of which, another name on our list, Matt Damon, left Harvard to act, just like his buddy Ben Affleck, who also ditched college for Hollywood.
Huh. Both found success doing what they love, even without those fancy credentials. Really shows you follow your passion, even if it means taking that road less traveled, right?
They definitely took a leap, and I mean, it paid off big time. It's like a testament to trusting your gut, going for what you want, even if everyone's telling you, do this, do that.
It's about betting on yourself, having the courage to say, this is me, this is what I'm going to do. Oh, and speaking of betting on yourself, this list, it's got musicians too. John Mayer, Natasha Bedingfield. Did you know that?
Wait, seriously? I had no idea they were dropouts.
Mhm.
This list is like all over the place in the best way.
It is, isn't it? And it's not just like what they did, the fields they were in. It's, I don't know, the whole package. We've got Ralph Lauren, fashion icon, even Bayard Rustin, the activist, all making waves without that degree.
It's kind of mind-blowing when you think about it. All these people, all these different impacts they made, each in their own way, really throws that whole one way to succeed thing out the window.
Yeah, it does. I mean, education's important, don't get me wrong, but this list, it makes you think, what is success? Like, who gets to decide how we measure it?
Absolutely. It's like a challenge to all those old ideas, right?
Right.
Maybe a college degree isn't the magic ticket everyone says it is. Maybe it's about finding your own path
Mhm.
and rocking it no matter what.
Exactly. What worked for, I don't know, Bill Gates might not work for you, and that's fine. The point is, there's no one size fits all. It's about finding your thing, your passion, and giving it everything you've got.
This list really makes you think, huh?
It does. It's pretty inspiring seeing how they all did things their own way and totally owned it.
Almost like they were, I don't know, playing by a different set of rules.
Maybe that's the secret. Maybe they realized the only rules that matter are the ones you make for yourself.
So what does this all mean for, you listening right now? Well, we're not saying college is pointless
Yeah.
or everyone should just drop out and chase butterflies.
No, not at all. Education has its place, and for a lot of people, it's super important.
But hopefully this list, it's gotten you thinking about, what's possible. Thinking outside that box when it comes to what success even means.
Ask yourself what really matters to you, what lights you up, and are you willing to go for it, even if it's scary, even if it's different?
Because sometimes the coolest things, the things that really change the world, they come from the people who aren't afraid to be different, to break the mold, to make their own path.
And who knows, maybe someday we'll be talking about you, about how you defied the odds and did something incredible.
Now, before we wrap up, we want to leave you with one last thing to chew on. We've seen all these dropouts, right? Tech giants, artists, fashion people, even an activist. But was there, like, some secret sauce they all had? Was it, I don't know, just crazy a vision like they couldn't shake? Or maybe, just maybe, a whole lot of luck and good timing.
It's the question, right? Every time you hear about these like out of the box successes, was it what they were born with, what they learned, just pure talent, or just being in the right spot at the right moment? Tough to say.
Maybe it's like a little bit of everything. But here's the real head scratcher, the thing we want to leave you with. Does this list, does it actually prove college is like a waste of time? Or does it just show us success? It comes in a lot of flavors no matter what your education looks like.
Makes you think twice about all those, you got to do this, you got to do that ideas, doesn't it? Maybe that degree, it's not the end all be all we thought it was. Maybe it's about finding your own way and just going for it with everything you've got.
Exactly. What worked for Bill Gates might not work for you. And that's okay. It's about your path, your passion, and not letting anything stop you.
And remember, success, it doesn't always have to be like fame and fortune, right? It can be about making a difference where you are, doing something creative you love, or just living a life that feels right for you.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into, well, those famous folks who ditched the diploma,
Yeah.
we want to leave you with this. Don't be afraid to, shake things up. Think differently and decide for yourself what success looks like.
Who knows? Maybe someday we'll be talking about your story, about how you did it your way and totally blew everyone away.
That's it for this deep dive. We hope you had fun exploring this kind of different road to success. Until next time, keep learning, keep asking those questions, and keep pushing those limits, whatever they are for you.